the recording? Okay, students, here I was just telling you about importance it is in catalysis with respect to things. So just to have a recap of it, we know that catalyst is going to be a substance that is going to really speed up the reaction, which accelerates. Okay, and how the catalyst has been finding its importance with respect to several industries, so petroleum, pollution, pharmaceutical industries, and polymer productions. We have been looking into the role of catalyst industries, and we've been
Ma'am, your
using
voice
lot
is
of
breaking.
vehicles and all the vehicular emissions. We also that also be
Ma'am,
I think I'm just having my mic very closer. Is it better now?
No,
Students,
ma'am.
can you hear?
It's still breaking.
I hear the net is fine only. I just continue. So here the pollution is going to
ma'am, you
have
are not audible.
a very great significance, and we know that in pollution control not audible. can you hear me? Student, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, fine. Some problem here in net because everybody's here. Anyway, for tomorrow or next class, I will try to go to other sentences proper. I'll check it out. Problem here.
Ma'am, again it's
Okay.
breaking.
Oh, voice break.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, your voice is
Again
breaking, ma'am.
breaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, I will try to connect with my mobile. Otherwise, 1 second. Students, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it okay? Now I've connected with the other network, mobile network.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
fine. Then we can. Okay, we'll proceed then. Huh? Okay. So I was just telling you about the catalysis and the importance of it. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So we were just discussing about all these things and the applications. I'll just make it fast and here the petrochemical, pollution, pharmaceutical and fine chemical synthesis. We know that very well. Catalyst is a word coined by Berzelius. So you know about the importance of catalyst and what is its role and what is actually happening with it. It actually doesn't take part in the reaction, but its role is to facilitate, to speed up or to accelerate. So that you need to remember here. And what are the main characteristics of a catalyst is the catalyst remains again unchanged. A small quantity is required. Very less amount of catalyst is fine for any reaction to happen. And you need to load accordingly and what kind of a reaction you are going to take it up, whether it's going to be a vapor phase reaction setup or liquid phase How we are going to proceed, whether homogeneous or heterogeneous catalysis, all those things are determining all the characteristics finally, and you will have the product selectivity towards it. The catalyst does not change the equilibrium constant, but the equilibrium approaches better earlier. So you know very well about the activation energy, how it is with the catalyst and without the catalyst, what it is. So you can see with respect to the reactants and the products, how the activation energy is a difference in the activation energy with catalyst and without catalyst. So you know which is better. So following are the main types of the catalysis. We know heterogeneous, homogeneous and enzyme catalysis. Again, in heterogeneous catalysis we use different phases. That is very important in heterogeneous. How do you call it as a heterogeneous catalysis? Suppose I'm going to give you a simple reaction, ask you to explain about it. Will you be able to write it, students? Will you be able to identify whether it's a heterogeneous catalysis or homogeneous based on the examples? Okay. So in the exam point of view, I'm just telling you, nobody will ask you directly write short notes on heterogeneous catalysis or write short notes on homogeneous. Some examples, it can be a part of, you need to first identify what it is and then you have to explain. So that is the main part of doing in the open book examination. So it will be mostly finding out, and some clues will be given and application oriented. So you need to train accordingly from the beginning and study. Okay, heterogeneous catalysis, suppose some examples I'm going to give you. In a gas phase, the reactants in one phase, catalyst in another phase, and give the representation of it, and you have to find out what it is. So it's going to be in the different phase, not the same phase, and homogeneous is going to be everything is going to be in the same phase. Enzyme catalysis, with an enzyme also, the catalysis is possible in this case. So how it is possible, that also we have seen in the earlier class. So different phase than the reactants, which is called as an heterogeneous catalyst, and the phenomenon. And we know about the catalytic surface. I was just telling you what kind of an surface it is going to be. Just imagine this is a rough surface, okay, the normal surface, the catalytic surface. And how we are going to have the, suppose you're going to pass some reactant molecules onto the surface of the catalyst, say R, and you can find lot of active sites. Okay, definitely depending upon the dopings or whatever your support you're going to take it, a catalytic supported material it can be called as. So again, based on the metal doped or whatever it is, you get accordingly the active site. Sometimes if you go for higher loadings of the metals, you can see that based on the support, and sometimes even agglomeration is possible. So agglomeration and all, we are not really interested into agglomeration because there's not going to be much active sites with respect to agglomeration. But when the dispersion is going to be fine on the support material, you get to have lot of active sites on the support, and thereby the reaction is going to go well. So this is how the catalytic surface studies is going to work out, and it's very interesting for us to know about the catalysis, and these are the advanced stages we are going to see. But at your level, for BTech level, you need to know just what is the definition, what it is, and you need not have to know complete mechanism behind it and all. Just one example, one or two examples for different industrial sectors. For petrochemical means what it is, for where it is being used, in fine chemical how it is used, in pollution control how it is used. Like that also sometimes the examiner can ask you a question. So here this is quite a very common and famous process. Manufacture of ammonia by Haber process is well known. Maybe you might have studied this in your school days itself. Ion is used as a catalyst here. So this here you can see everything is in the same phase. So the denotions, whatever they're going to give here, it can be this way. Okay, we will be mentioning about the gas or solid like this, or liquid. So like this. Okay, so if it is going to be in the board teaching, I can make it everything better. Okay, now anyway, whatever is possible, I am doing it right now here. So you have a gaseous phase. So manufacture of sulfuric acid by the contact process. That's another example where you can just have all the reactants and the products and the catalyst, everything is in the same phase. So in that case, this is fine. So vanadium pentoxide is used as a catalyst. So many kind of an industries, you can just see how people are using it. And some of the other common examples also, these two examples we have just seen in the last class itself. So homogeneous catalysis, everything is going to be in the same phase. Suppose your catalyst, reactant and the product, everything is in the same phase. Either it's going to be in the gaseous phase or the solution phase. Let us see some examples for each and everything. So if it's going to be in the gaseous phase, you can write the example of the SO2, that is oxidation of sulfur dioxide here. In the presence of a catalyst, so here NO, that is nitric oxide, acts as a catalyst, and the chamber process, in the chamber process for sulfuric acid manufacture. So this method is also one of the method possible, and even it can be also done with the earlier method. Okay, the following reactions in the gas phase is catalyzed by traces of chlorine gas. So this is another material where you can just see both the reactant and the catalyst as well as the product sides, both are in the same phase, that is the gaseous phase. So this is one example. And coming on to the solution phase now. So all those things are gaseous phase related. Solution phase. Solution phase, you know about the hydrolysis of ester. If you just take this reactions, the hydrolysis part, you will also do it in the laboratory also. When you do it, still how you can just calculate what kind of an question will be given in the laboratory when you do it. Maybe your practical class session teacher will explain about you in detail about all these things. Now here we'll see only the example of it, the hydrolysis of ester. Here in the presence of an acid or an alkali, and an alkali, if you see, you get an acetic acid and then ethyl alcohol, everything is in the solution phase, in the aqueous. So generally they will give it as the solution phase as aqueous phase. So you can just write this that way also. And
Ma'am, how
hydrolysis
will
of
the question be
sucrose,
asked in this topic, ma'am?
that's what student, it will be mostly example oriented. Examples
Okay.
I can give you, maybe not, it's not only me. For my class, sometimes it's going to be a common subject. Engineering chemistry is a common subject, so many faculty are taking. So anybody will have a question. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay, ma'am.
doesn't mean only I will be taking or I will be doing. Don't think in that aspect and study. Okay. But I will give you all the possible types of questions, the formats. I'll tell you how you can just proceed, but
And
it's
we should
not going to
focus
be a,
mainly on your PPT, right?
yeah, PPT and the text materials and study materials is fine. Apart
Okay.
from it, if you want, I will tell you those things you can study. Okay, students.
Okay. Okay.
And the other one is, when you study, don't study mug it up and all. Kindly avoid it. Don't mug it up as you do it. Sometimes some students have the habit of memorizing things in the for writing short notes and all. See, we are not going to test your memory here. Your knowledge and understanding and where to apply only will be tested in this open book. So that you have to go through. Okay, students. Because it's not a closed exam where you are not having your books and all. If it's going to be in your in campus, it will be different. First time we will do a closed examination. Second cat will be an open book. But now, since it is a pandemic, everything is going to be an open book for you. So that means your memory is not going to be tested here, only your understanding, how you're going to apply and how you're going to explain it. And these things will be based on this only, you will be awarded marks. Sometimes some clues will be given for you. Identify those clues and then easily pick it up. Not that higher end of questions won't be there. You can answer. Okay, in that way only we will be framing, but it's not a direct question. That's it. Okay, anyway, here the hydrolysis of sucrose, cane sugar into glucose and fructose. And if you see all these types of the simple examples, you can see the homogeneous catalysis is just being known here because it is all related to the same phase, identical phase. Enzyme catalysis, I told you, it is going to follow what? Lock and key mechanism, because lock and key mechanism is very, very important when this enzyme catalysis is going to go, because we know how the enzyme here, main thing, three things are there: enzyme, substrate and the product. Based on this we will be seeing. Okay, so the reactant and the substrate will be towards it. So the reactant, or the other ways we call it as a substrate, and next to the enzyme. what kind of a complex you're going to get it, and then finally product. With respect to it, how the rate of formation is going to be determined. You write it as Ka and Ka star. So all those things, and then rate of formation of the product also can be written. So rate of formation, all these things only we are going to use the Michaelis-Menten mechanism and derive the steps. So these are steps and all quite easy. So we know about here the proteins, the enzymes or protein-based molecules which are being possessing certain chemical reactions. We know a lot of people are doing biotechnology, biochemistry, biocatalysis and all. So this is a kind of an biocatalysis. In other words, we can say enzyme catalysis is biology is coming into picture. So in these reactions which occur at the localized site active at the active site at the rate much faster than the normal reaction rate. So you can just see here the substrate is a molecule that actually fits into the active site. So how it's going to fit into the active site of the particular enzyme, what kind of a transformation is going to happen, that is very important. And here the other factor that is going to be present here, the example of the catalyst, that is the enzyme reaction which actually converts your hydrogen peroxide to water and oxygen. This is an again important enzyme protecting the cell from oxidative damage. So generally we just call it as ROS, reactive oxygen species. And even in photocatalysis and all, have you heard about photocatalysis, student?
Yes, ma'am. Catalyst with the help
Yeah.
of light.
Yes, by
Yes,
sunlight.
fine. Yes, we do research on photocatalysis also. So apart from it, but we are not giving all these things right now. We're only giving you heterogeneous, homogeneous, and then the enzymes or the bio-based catalyst. But you do have other kind of a thing, that is photocatalysis is also there, where you will be doing that chemical deposition and photo deposition methods and all. And that is again a different methodologies where your UV lamp, how you're going to do it in the presence of light, how the reactions is going to happen. Okay, all those things, that is again research, people do research on it exclusively. PhD students, doctor students do research on it. And here you can just see here enzyme based catalysis, how the substrate is going to fit well into the enzyme. So enzyme catalyst reactions work in the lock and key fashion. The substrate uniquely fits like a key into the active site and thereby forming a lock key complex. So the substrate is converted into the product by the enzyme at the site, and how the product is finally released. This is a simple mechanism. This is not a kind of a mechanism I would like to tell. It's kind of a representation, schematic representation of showing you how it actually fits in. So the enzyme effect on the what is the actual effect it is having with respect to the activation energy, we have seen already with a normal catalyst what is happening. Maybe I was telling you just because the earlier cases is not with respect to the enzyme, it is with respect to some of the chemical substances, that is your support material or metal doping onto it, how it is going to act as a catalyst. In other ways, what this enzyme is going to do, it is also going to lower the activation energy. In what way, all those things. So it's just going to create some new path similar to the kind of a regular solid acid catalyst how we have been using, or any base catalyst or whatever it is, depending upon the phases. For example, here the enzyme catalyst reduces the activation energy for the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide to 8 kg per mole, and the corresponding to the acceleration of the reaction by a factor of this 10 power 15. So here in this case, you can just see here the enzyme plus substrate, the complex ES term to give you the product plus the enzyme is getting released. This is a simple representation. Okay, so enzyme, substrate, complex, product, and then enzyme is getting released. So in this case, so the Michaelis-Menten equation is a commonly used model that assumes the concentration of the enzyme which remains constant. Now here we can just see here in this one, this is another one. So earlier one you write it as equation 1. Are you writing, student, then and there? So please make a habit of writing the things so that you know. Not everything, at least the points which you feel that you have to remember those things. Okay, next one you write this one. So E plus S. I think you have already written this in the last class, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then no need. If you have written, no need. Just listen. Okay, enzyme plus substrate. And here you can just see here the rate of formation, Ka. Ka slash. Ka slash you represent like this. This one. Okay. E plus A, Ka rate of formation, Ka slash. And you can just see here, Ka slash is the rate of dissociation of your ES. That is the complex, enzyme substrate complex. And then which further gives to the product, that is the rate of formation, that is Kb. Towards your product, and from the ES, that is from the complex. And now the enzyme is also getting released. So 3 steps to be remembered. So the first step is bimolecular formation, next is unimolecular decomposition, and finally how the products are being formed and the release of enzyme. So that is also is there. So the bimolecular formation of a combination here, ES of the enzyme E and the substrate S, E plus S turns to give ES. The rate of formation ES is equal to K of A into E into S. Unimolecular decomposition of the complex, you can write it in a rate compose. How do you represent the rate equations and all? Maybe we will see all those things in detail in kinetics. So here you can just see here the rate of decomposition ES is equal to Ks slash into E of S. And the products and enzymes, how you will be seeing here in this case, the rate of decomposition ES is equal to ES slash into ES, and the rate of further decomposition you can just write it in this fashion. No need to write again and again the same steps. Okay, one common step is enough. Now the rate of formation with respect to the product selectivity, since the product is formed irreversibly according to the rate law, the rate of formation of the product P, that is equal to, we know the rate of formation is Kb. So Kb into ES, that is the complex. Since the net rate of formation of this ES is equal to 0, we can rewrite this as the net rate of formation of your enzyme substrate complex is equal to your EA into, your ES into, that is the rate of E into rate of S separately, you write. Yes.
Ma'am, why is the net rate of formation 0?
Which one, ma?
The net rate of formation of ES is
Yeah,
0.
I will tell you those things. See, the doubts, whatever you have, where are all the places you have, you ask me at the end, okay? The clarifications I will tell now. I will just proceed because if the portions is too lengthy and we need to complete it. Maybe which step you have some problem, you just put me and ask me, so that I will tell you the details of the expanded steps and all. I will just tell you. Sometimes in PPT we are not giving you in an expanded manner. Okay, so kindly you just tell me, since if I do it in the classroom and all, it will be better. I can have my marker and explain to you in the board. Now this is not possible. So where are all you have doubts, you're not feeling it, you're not finding it clear, means you just give me. Okay, so I will immediately explain to you with a back reply mail. Maybe in Teams also you can ask, or you can send it to my mail ID also. Okay, the formation, if you can just see here, so you can write the representation as E and then S. Okay, so the rate with respect to it, and the net rate of formation of ES is equal to, now Ka into, that is the rate of formation, the rate of here with respect to the, yeah, the rate of formation here of Ka with from the reactant side towards the complex, and then finally towards the product. So that can be again rewritten as here. You can just see here. So ES is equal to K of E into S divided by Ka slash plus Kb. So all the rate of formation, rate of dissociation is also given, and then the rate of formation of the product. First is with respect to the complex, next is with respect to the product, and this is the rate of dissociation. So everything together you mention, and you can write this the complex form like this. So ES can be written as this. So E and S are the molar concentration of the free enzyme and the free substrate. So the you can just write this way the concentrations, the molar concentrations, okay, and of the free enzymes and the free substrate. If the molar concentration here in this case of E is 0, is the total concentration of the enzyme, you can write it as E into ES is equal to E of 0. So we can now replace this the concentration of E in this expression by E naught minus ES. So you can just rewrite the expression of the earlier one by this way. So ES is equal to the rate of formation of the complex Ka into the molar concentration of E of naught minus molar concentration of the complex into the substrate divided by your rate of dissociation and the rate of formation towards the product. So rearrange and write all these two equations can be rearranged. Now the multiplication factor coming into the earlier one, you take these two equations and get back to it, the ES equation, and then multiplication by Ka slash plus Kb. So you can just write this first and then entire thing you can just do that. So overall it will be becoming as this equation finally. Okay, so students, you have to write it in your notebook and then do the step-by-step steps, and then if anyway if you have the difficulty, you can just ask me. So division by Ka turns this expression into this. Further you write Ka slash plus Kb divided by Ka. So individual terms you can do it. Okay. So here in this case I am not writing all these things individually. So you can just division of entire thing by Ka. If you do it, Ka will get cancelled here in this case. Huh? So this. So if you see here, this Ka and this Ka will get cancelled, and finally you will get, because this is also is divided by, because the entire thing is divided by Ka. So you will get this term fully separately. Okay, Ka slash plus Kb divided by Ka. You will get this term separately. So this Ka get cancelled and you will only have your substrate. And again the molar concentration of your ES. You're bringing it this side, so you can if you want to bring it this side also you can do it, otherwise you can mention it equal to, again this K also K get cancelled, so you will get E naught into ES. So we recognize the first term inside the parenthesis as Km, so this expression rearranges to, so ES is equal to E of naught into S divided by the concentration of your substrate plus Km. So this is another equation you can write. So thereby the Michaelis constant, bring this side. You can just see here the Michaelis constant here in this case is nothing but your Ka slash plus Kb by Ka. So that can be also written here in this case. Next one.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you just go a little slow in the derivation?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
See student, you just have to remember step by step. First step is this one. Okay. So if you want, shall I write in my pen and make I just upload it for you? Can I do
Yes,
that way?
ma'am.
Step by
Yes.
step calculation. I will do my
Yes, ma'am.
handwritten.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
give you an explanation there itself, why it is this way, why the net rate of formation is 0, and what are the steps happening here. And maybe I will have my derivation in my paper and then upload for you better. Because PPT I'm finding it here also too difficult for you separately. Okay, so all these things you do it students. So this one you do it, these two steps. And the cancellations and all, sometimes they are not showing it in the PPTs, so that can be done separately. When we do it separately as per it, it will be better for you to understand the multiplication as well as the division factors, how it is proceeding, and then you can go on to it. It's a very interesting and easily you can get marks out of it. So a very, very important question, Michaelis-Menten derivations, and it will be mostly an essay type question. So you should know what it is and then derive it fully. Easily you can step by step you do the steps and clearly mention. When you do it, it will be easier for you. You can easily make it out. So very simple, not complicated and all. Just you know the only thing you have to make it in a better way of writing. So no confusion, not leaving the steps in the middle. Okay. If you leave the steps in the middle, it will be tougher. You will not come to a conclusion properly. Somewhere you will be getting struck up in the steps.
So this whole derivation we should study, right?
Yes, to whole derivation step by step you should do.
Okay.
Don't write one step and go to another step. Some students will write this and some suddenly they will come to the other equation. We do not know that, but in the exam point of view, we'll see all the steps, how you're coming. Okay, so step by step I want to see all the thing. Maybe what I expect I will just upload for you. You just do in that way itself. That will be better. So we recognize this term like here, and in this Michaelis constant Km, which is having the dimension of concentration, I can rearrange it. So rate of formation with respect to the substrate, rate of dissociation, and here this is rate of formation of the product, and again with respect to the substrate. So the rate law for the rate of formation of the product in terms of the concentration of the enzyme and substrate turns out to be rate of formation. You can just see here for P, that is the product that is formed, you can write it as Kb into Es. So the net rate of formation, we have given it as 0 also. So in this case, we can just say that the rate law for the rate of formation, again, based on this equation, you can just see here, according to this equation, the rate of enzymolysis is first order in the added enzyme concentration. But the effective rate constant K depends on the concentration of the substrate. So hence we can write this condition of this equation 1.3 in this case, how it is going to be, how you can say the equation, the rate of enzymolysis is first order, how you can say in that way. So you can also write the conditions with respect to the substrate as well as the Michaelis constant, how it is going to be with respect to whether it is going to be lesser or the Michaelis constant value is going to be greater than the substrate, and what way it is going to be. So either it is going to be greater or lesser. So both the conditions you have to know. Both the conditions with respect to the constant as well as the concentration of the molar concentration of the substrate. The effective rate constant finally is equal to this. Therefore, the rate increases linearly. So this can be also done with a graph. We can show it with the graph, this condition. So let me show it with a graph. Yeah, you can see here in this the substrate concentration and the reaction rate. Now here with respect to the substrate concentration as well as the Michaelis constant values, the effective rate constant is equal to this. So therefore the rate increases linearly with the substrate concentration at low concentrations. So you can just see here how the concentrations may be with respect to 20 and the substrate concentration, what is the reaction rate. So it's kind of a plot. Okay, you can do this. Maybe they are showing you the conditions how the substrate is going to be with respect to the Michaelis constant. Okay, whether it's going to be whether it goes the rate increases linearly at low concentrations, and here in this case the substrate versus if it's going to be greater than the Michaelis constant value, the effective rate constant is equal to the rate of your dissociation, that is Kb, and the rate law in this equation is given here. So the rate of formation, we know we have already written this equation earlier. So if you see any graph, you see in a normal thing, what's going to be happening linearly, student? So you see in a normal Beer-Lambert's and all, we'll just say it should pass through the origin, isn't it? How do you say? Are you aware of Beer-Lambert's law?
No,
Huh?
ma'am.
No,
What is
ma'am.
Beer-Lambert's law? With respect to absorbance and concentration, anyway, we'll be studying it in colorimetry and all. So just to have a different kind of an comparison and all, you should know. So how the graph is going to be going on, whether it is going to pass through the origin, what is happening, okay, whether it's going to be a plot, in what way, maybe viscosity means you'll have a different graph. For this you have a different graph, and for this rate constant, how you're going to do with respect to the enzymes. So all these things you should have a comparison and then study. When you do comparison, it will be better for you to remember the things. So the maximum velocity Vmax, if you see, when the substrate molar concentration of your substrate is greater than your Michaelis constant, the rate is independent of the concentration of your substrate, because there is not much substrate which present on it, which remains at effectively the same concentration even though the product is formed there. So how do you represent this Vmax? Okay, get back to the rate of formation equation. So we know the formation equation P is equal to rate of your dissociation into the molar concentration of your enzyme naught E naught. Now getting back to this, so have this equation, and you can just write the rate of formation of product is a maximum, and KBE naught is called the maximum velocity. So this is going to be Vmax. So if this is going to be Vmax, then you have to again substitute in the earlier equations. So the rate determining step, so this you remember and try to substitute it in the earlier equation. So the rate determining step is step 3, that is the decomposition of ES to form 3P. So which is the rate determining step? So already we have seen 3 steps, isn't it? So we have seen the bimolecular formation, unimolecular decomposition, and then unimolecular formation of the product. So finally the third step is going to be the rate determining step here in this case. So with this, you just think about the step and then get back to the next one. Yeah, the step. So here the rate determining step is step 3, the decomposition of ES to form product. But there is an ample of your ES, that is the complex, present, and the rate is determined by the rate at which your ES reacts to form the product. So comparing those two equations, 1.1 and 1.4, go to 1.1. Where is 1.1? So yes, so this equation, this one you just take it, E into S is equal to E naught into S divided by your substrate into Michaelis constant. So this equation note down, then get back to 1.4. Now 1.4 is this one. So then both the things you take it and then rearrange this, and you will get the rate reaction rate represented as at a given substrate S composition is related to the maximum velocity Vmax. So here, when you do all these things, you will get a final one, representation this way. So write this. Have you written this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, maybe this one I'll just start explaining to you in the next class. So anyway, I will do a handwork and then give it for you, this equation alone. Okay, so few things only. So another 2 points to be discussed in this with respect to Michaelis constant and the plot to be explained in this. That's all. Okay, and certain efficiency I will tell. Then we will move on to the Gibbs free energy and then kinetics and some problems. Okay.